Oh, it's me starting. Hello and welcome.
I guess we can take turns.
That's fair enough. Welcome to our 40th episode of the CANAS podcast.
The Devan Dubnyk episode.
Oh, I see what you were doing.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
That's what I was doing.
Man, today is a sad day in all of Canada.
Well, baseball Canada.
Yes, very sad. We'll talk baseball. There's no basketball. There's maybe we'll talk a little bit about the Canada series was freaking awesome for the Blue Jays here in Edmonton, man. That was
The Blue Jays?
sorry, the Raptors.
Just mixing up your sports now?
I have sorrow in my head. The Raptors were awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's really all we have to talk about.
Yeah, that was fun. I saw highlights because I didn't go to the game. I wish I went to the game, but no, it's good for Edmonton.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get an NBA team in the near future or ever maybe.
I don't think ever, dude.
But it was nice to see NBA basketball in Edmonton.
This city supports hockey, and a winning team. We don't even support the CFL, mind you. I don't think the CFL is a real sports league, really per se. But I don't know, man. That's a tough one for sure.
Yeah,
I'll sit up here. We're good to support a team for one game or for a season. Like the Raptors, if they came here for 10 games in a season, yeah, they'd probably sell out every game. More than that, not a chance. But this isn't really we're not a big enough town. We're not a big enough market for it, right? So
we're not an association city.
Correct.
A big
I like what
association
Nielsen says on TSN 1260. Yeah. Hashtag association city. Yeah. Also, did you hear his last episode, their last show? I think it was on Thursday or Friday where they knighted the guy.
I did, yeah.
That is the single most biggest goal of my life now.
Right? Just to be knighted on TSN 1260.
As a lord of a TSN 1260. Yeah. Oh, he's sick. But,
soccer, not much.
Alphonso Davies took a boot to the eye.
I was just going to
today.
say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Except for that.
Jonathan David has been really good so far. Kyle Larin didn't have anything to show. Buchanan played in the Champions League, which is a huge plus.
That's good.
Huge plus. We still don't have a defender playing in high level. We only have offense. That's going to be our Achilles heel for sure this year.
But as long as they play kind of like they did in the qualifying, but a little bit better, then
so I know
okay.
I said my bold prediction was that Canada would make it to the quarterfinals. I still think it's possible if this team plays sound defensively. It's real. If I'm a betting man, I'm not betting on it. I'll be honest with you. I think this year the fact that we just made the World Cup is a huge positive, and we need to be competitive in each game. I don't want 2, 3, 4 nothing blowouts every game.
If we're 2-1, 1-0,
if we lose every game 2-1, I'm still ecstatic.
Yeah.
Right? I'm still ecstatic over it. Morocco is a heck of a team. We have the lowest average of ranked teams in our group. We have the toughest group this year on paper. We have Belgium and Croatia, who have placed second and third in the last 2 World Cups, it feels like. Well, last World Cup for sure. Croatia, Belgium. Belgium's a perennial contender every single year. Croatia's Luka Modric is a god. Thank God we just don't have Erling Haaland against us. And Morocco has Hakimi. Hakimi, let's not underestimate how good of a player that guy is. He is another Alphonso Davies, just not as good, but
still.
Really but national team Davies, I'd say he's as good as national team Davies. Davies tries too much on the national team. He doesn't do that with Bayern.
Because he's not to that level in Bayern compared to national team.
But he national plays team worse on the national team though.
Yeah, because he tries to do everything himself. Hard, yeah.
But that's going to come with experience. It's going to come with maturity.
Exactly.
With experience. So
next World Cup is here 100%. And in the States, so
Absolutely.
It'll just be an experience for the whole team to be yo, this is the World Cup. You'll probably get into the next World Cups, but this is your start, so be prepared kind of thing.
The Canadian women won 2-0 against Argentina.
Oh, nice.
The other day. Jesse Fleming was the captain.
Nice.
And they play one more time. I think it's tomorrow they play, actually. Some tune-ups, I think, before their last round of qualification of the World Cup, I want to say. Or is it the Olympics? I don't remember. Next year is the World Cup for the women, though. I do know that.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is a realistic goal for them in the World Cup? I think quarterfinals for sure. I think if they make it to the semis,
I'd say
it'll be
semis,
nice.
yeah.
But to repeat as gold as champions, like, you can't expect that. Like, that, it was a fairy tale run by our women. Like, they played
Like,
so
honestly,
well,
no
man.
one really expected them. Like, when they made it to the knockouts, it's like, okay, that's, like, perfect. Like, everything is a bonus. Now it's kind of like, still, like, especially with our women's, it's just that our expectations aren't, like, super high. Like let's say us, or Toronto Maple Leafs fans, or us Oilers fans for our teams kind of thing. So,
but we're getting there,
but
which is nice.
we're getting there,
which is nice. So, and then after that, do you want to go into baseball real quick?
I'll just do Formula One really quick because it's the Japanese Grand Prix. They're not doing so well. That's pretty much it. I think it was practice 3. I think Latifi turned into like the wrong, because there was like kind of like 2 different like paths for the circuit. So he turned to the wrong one, and he was like, "Oh no, I don't know what happened. It must have been this car." So he blamed the car of messing up in that turn, when it was obviously his fault.
Yeah.
But that was like the highlight of, I guess, Canadian F1 drivers. But
he's playing for a contract for another team. Hey, I don't think he gets it though. He probably is in Formula 2.
He's not playing. He's not playing. He's not driving for Williams next year. So
he's driving for a contract.
For a contract, but I don't
two.
think anyone's gonna.
I don't
sign
see
him.
it, man.
Not even as a reserve, because there's younger, more skilled drivers. And
do you think he goes to Formula 2? Or
I don't know. I think I'd probably think he'd just go to like IndyCar maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair
or
enough,
like any of the other leagues. I don't think he'll go to Formula 2.
But I mean, classic F1. I don't even know if there's many Canadians coming up in the system that are going to be decent drivers.
I don't think so. I haven't really I just started watching Formula 1 this year. I don't think there's any high Canadian prospects, quote unquote, for drivers.
Yeah.
So
fair enough. So
we can go to baseball.
One of my bold predictions went down the window. Although I would like to point out my bold predictions came crashing down significantly later than yours.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, that's true.
I had a chance.
Oh yeah.
The Blue Jays had a chance.
Leading 8-1 in 6th.
I choose to see this as a positive though, for a couple of reasons. One, this is a very young team. They will learn from this and be better. That,
and especially because the expectations for them to make to the World Series, they may have got to them, and they maybe try too hard in these playoffs. But
their bats in Game 1 were atrocious.
Yes.
Game 2 was much better.
Way better, yep.
But it still wasn't their bats need to come to life when we need them the most, right? Plus the defensive miscue that caused them to tie the game.
Yep.
That's another tough one. A tough pill to swallow. We need, listen, Jordan Romano was fantastic for us, but it can't be just him in the bullpen that's going to give us those. Bass had an awful game in the second game. Pop, I don't even think played, but they don't have confidence in Pop right now. Mesa was awful.
Mesa was bad, yeah.
And I think it's just that the postseason got to all of them.
Garcia was
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're up 8-1. You can't let them back.
No.
Even if you let in one run per
even with
inning.
that miscue, it would have been 8 to 4 maybe from that miscue maybe.
Yeah, but the pitching, you can't get him to that point. Can't get to that point. Gossman played really well. I'm so happy he didn't get the loss today.
No.
But
if he stayed for the end of the inning, I think it would have been fine.
It's yes and no. I don't know. Santana hit the home run with a wild pitch. So essentially 4 runs that inning. 3 were charged to Gossman. But he also did load up bases. So who knows what could have happened. Santana could have hit that home run off anyone. Right? True. I don't necessarily blame Schneider for getting rid of Gossman, because the analytics, it was an analytics-based decision that he made, and it worked from all year. I think Schneider had more balls than Montoya did, and I think that's a positive. So Schneider comes back next year.
Oh, yeah.
We get 3 to 4 arms, preferably 2 starters and 2 big inning relievers. And this should be a World Series team. Manoah's an ace. Gossman's a very good number 2 / like an ace in many other in other teams.
Other teams, yep.
Stripling played fantastic, but I don't think he's back next year. He's going to want way too much money. Barrios is going to have a bounce back year. I don't see how Barrios does bad.
Ryu, if he was healthy. Like he was...
But Ryu has been bad for us like this whole year. Like even when he was like healthy at the beginning, he was awful. And Kikuchi has had no control. You saw his stuff. Like when he had his stuff, he was unreal. A number 5 pitcher for sure. They made a bet on Kikuchi and Barrios, and it completely faltered this year.
Yeah.
But they made decisions that they thought were going to be beneficial, and the analytics said they would. So like I can't even get upset. Maybe get us one more left-handed bat that could produce some good offense. But who would you replace? Like, would it be Espinal? Like, would maybe get us a shortstop so that Bo can play second base?
Yeah.
Get us a left-handed shortstop so that Bo can play second base. Because I don't think
I can see that.
Right? Like, we have the bats. Our offense isn't the issue.
No.
Our team defense even isn't that bad. Matt Chapman's unreal. He had a howler for postseason, though. Awful postseason. Whatever.
Nah.
This is a positive. This is a young team. Apart from Springer, there's no real postseason experience, and we'll see. So,
just gotta learn from these playoffs and kind of
and it'll be a learning experience, man. As long as they don't fall into the Toronto curse,
which is
making it to the playoffs and then getting out of the first round every single
well, technically,
year.
This wasn't the first, or would it be the first round?
This would have been the first round.
Okay, so
the play-in round, I guess. But Toronto couldn't even make it out of that. So.
No, so yeah.
Well, anyways. So hockey really quick, I think?
Yeah.
There's not too much to talk about in hockey.
No.
Season started up technically.
Which is weird.
Whoever made the schedule should be fired, dude.
3 Battle of Albertas this year. Season starting earlier compared to like everyone else while everyone was playing preseason hockey. It was just weird.
Yeah, who does that? Like seriously,
I don't know.
They should be fired, man. It's such a joke. Speaking of terrible, Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
Okay. 0-6-2 preseason. Awful, man. I get we can't read too much into it
because it's preseason. I
get that. But that's a bad team. They're gonna be so bad. I feel for what's your buddy's name?
Tyler.
I feel for Tyler.
Shout out to Tyler. I'm sorry, but your team is not going to do well again this year.
I also said they made the Cup Finals a couple of years ago, so I can't feel too bad about you, Tyler. Can't feel too bad.
Yeah.
Made the Cup Final when you probably shouldn't have. So that's nice.
But
fall for Bedard, man. Yeah.
Or as Cervalli has his hashtag that he wants to start like picking up steam. I think it was like suck hard for Bedard. I think that's what it was. So
it's so bad.
I know. But what can you say for Bedard though?
I don't know.
But yeah, Montreal's not going to do so well.
No. That's going to be it's a bad team. I feel for Marty St. Louis, the coach. But
they did play.
They're going to have 2 very good fantasy league options. Nick Suzuki, in my opinion, will be very good. And Cole Caulfield should get you 35 goals this year. That's going to be a bad power play because you don't have a power play specialist in there anymore.
Nope.
That's going to be bad.
You don't really have
defense.
anyone, really.
They literally have no one. They have they have a second line and then like 3 fourth lines, pretty much. That's a bad team.
And their defense isn't really that strong compared to all the other teams. Like they have Matheson and like that's it.
Yeah, for sure.
Matheson, that's it. And then for goalies, they have Jake Allen and Montembeault, which isn't really that strong.
Yeah, that's bad goalies as well. I don't think anyone drafted either Allen or Montembeault on their fantasy leagues this year.
Especially not in our league.
No.
I think the only ones that were picked up were just Suzuki and Caulfield. That's it. Yeah.
Even Suzuki was like a late pick. Yeah. Who is your biggest sleeper, you think, this year? Of all the Canadian teams? Like, who do you think is going to have the biggest year of all of them?
I think, as much as I want to say Ottawa, I think Vancouver might have a very like sneaky season this year.
They played really well under Bruce.
Yeah, and as well, like they play in a weak Pacific division, and then with some teams like Chicago and Arizona in the Central Division, they can pick up quite a bit of points throughout the season with those teams, and they could probably get it like at least like a fourth finishing fourth in the division.
I think it's going to be between LA, Vegas, and Vancouver fighting for third and fourth.
Yeah.
I do honestly think the Pacific is the top
like,
4 teams are good enough to 4 teams to qualify for the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's going to be Edmonton and Calgary are going to finish top 2.
Yeah.
That
whichever reason doesn't matter. Yeah.
Calgary 2 or Calgary 1, Edmonton 2.
It's going to be Edmonton and Calgary.
It should be the 2 of them.
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah.
As we start right now. And like everybody knows, like, listen, we're from Edmonton. We don't like Calgary. We don't like Vancouver. But I gotta give credit to where credit's due, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've said this for like multiple episodes now. Brad Treliving for me is already the GM of the year for what he did. Uyghur just signed an 8-year contract for $6.25 million. Very reasonable for a top pairing defenseman. So
I think another like sneaky. I don't know why I keep saying sneaky in this episode, but another candidate for GM is probably Ottawa's. I forgot Dorian. Yeah.
Fantastic job by Dorian as well. Like that Ottawa team went from one of the worst in the league to I would on paper them a genuine playoff contender.
It's just gonna be
tough. They have the same issues that Vancouver has. That's okay. We have a dog barking today, so we apologize for that, but that's okay. But like they have the same issues Vancouver has, like the defense, right?
Yes.
But Vancouver has, for me, a top pairing defenseman in Quinn Hughes. Defensively, he's awful. But offensively, he's fantastic.
But Ottawa has the same in Shabbat.
Shabbat is significantly better defensively. He's not an offensive powerhouse, but he's a defensive
But that's what Ottawa
genius.
Needs because of what they have is defense. So
that all said, though, I think my biggest sleeper. When I said sleeper, I meant player. My bad. Not team.
Well, you said all the Canadian teams. I'm like, okay, player. I'll pick a team.
my number one.
Okay, mine will be team then. Mine will be team. You can be player.
Fair enough. Because I agree with you. Vancouver is going to be sneakily better. Definitely not. I think LA is better than them though, and Edmonton and Calgary are most certainly better than them.
But yeah, like looking at the division, it's going to be tough for Ottawa to come out on like top 4 because of all the other teams that are ahead of them.
My sleeper pick amongst the Canadian teams,
player-wise,
is Tim Stützle.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think he's going to be top 20 in the NHL in points this year. I think he's going to put up point per game, like 85 points. I think.
I can see that. Yeah.
When I did my fantasy team Excel spreadsheet. But I spent way more time than I ever cared to admit.
You didn't want to come over to Mike's house because you were stuck doing your spreadsheet.
I needed to look smart, but then I realized when I saw who Mike was drafting, it didn't take much for me to look smart.
Right. But anyway.
I was going to say, Stützle is going to put up 40 goals, 40 assists. That's what I predicted for him. Like, if you look, like, Stützle's put up similar numbers to Leon Draisaitl when he starts off in the league. I think Leon's going to be better.
Is it because he's German?
I don't know. Tim Stützle is an incredible talent. Like, I don't think we can deny it. Tim Stützle is actually unbelievable at hockey. He dives like a crazy person. Leon Draisaitl is a physical beast, whereas Tim Stützle, like, cries in the corner and dives everywhere. So I don't think he'll ever reach Draisaitl's, like, 100-plus points game season. No, 100-plus points season, not game season. Awkward.
Weird.
But I think Stützle's going to be 80 to 85 points a year for the next, like, 70 years during his contract. And he signed a good contract, man.
He did.
A good contract. That Ottawa team's going to be good as long as, like, their young core develops properly and they have good veterans around them. That's going to be a good Ottawa core. That also said, though, like, Tampa Bay's going to be good for a few more years. Toronto should... If Toronto doesn't make it out of the playoffs, out of the first round this year, that's complete overhaul. They're all done. And they're talking about Matthews being offered the max contract, $16+ million, pretty soon here, because the cap's going to go up $10 million in a year, in 2 years. It's the projections, right?
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what happens in Ottawa. I think
looking at the sorry, try to cut you
That's
off.
all good.
Looking at the lineups in Daily Faceoff, he's gonna be playing in the second line with Dubnyk and Giroux.
It's ridiculous.
That's gonna be one crazy line.
He's going to put up 40 assists to just Dubnyk and 40 goals just from Giroux.
Right? So
And that first line is going to be nuts. But I want to touch back on Calgary really quick. And Brad Treliving. Like that, he found a way. He lost his two best players. And he found a way to upgrade that team while saving cap still.
yeah, no, that's true. Because then
Or while staying within the cap.
We're staying within the
Because,
cap,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, they spend more money on Uyghur and Huberdeau. Okay?
But I'm
So
guessing
those-
that's like taking into account the cap for next offseason. So
Yeah, but like I don't think so. Their contracts are going to be sensational for the first 4 years, in my opinion, at least first 4 years. Then they're going to be in their mid-30s, and that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Okay, like let's not sugarcoat this. But Brad Treliving is in win now mode. Like I don't understand. Like there's Oilers fans who are ripping him for ripping Calgary for like these awful contracts.
they're not awful contracts.
That's an asinine comment, man.
Especially
Like,
for
that's-
Uyghur. That Uyghur contract is like perfect, basically.
Calgary's in win now. They're in cup contender mode. Calgary is a legitimate threat to win the Stanley Cup this year. I think there's 5 teams in the NHL right now who could win the cup. Okay? It's Calgary.
Yep.
It's going to be New York Rangers and Tampa Bay. It has to be those two.
Yep.
And it's going to be 6 maybe. Colorado,
That's 4. Yeah.
Edmonton, and you got to include Toronto in there. There's no forward group. It's honestly like there might be 1 or 2 that are better than Toronto, but like top end talent, there's one that you can consider to have equal top end talent than Toronto, and it's Edmonton, just because of the 2 guys, McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yep.
Right, that's it.
Yep.
But then like Tampa Bay is a hell of a team still. Like so that's what's going to be interesting. But Calgary's in win now mode. They've done everything they could to stay there. They don't have the number 1 center. I think that's going to be their number 1 downfall. And speed killed them in the playoffs last year. That was tough on them.
Yes.
When they faced a good goalie against Dallas, because Lord knows we didn't have good goaltending in Edmonton for last season. They had a tough time. Had a really tough time. If Markstrom plays the way he can,
And he doesn't fall into the Edmonton curse.
then that's going to be a very tough
Yes.
series.
Yeah.
Very, very, very tough series. That said, their Achilles heel is speed. And Edmonton is quite possibly the fastest team in the NHL this year. Because for me, the biggest shock of the preseason, the biggest shock of the season, it's not that Holloway made the team. I knew Holloway was going to make the team. I had a good chance at it. He's an exceptional skater, an exceptional talent, top 6 forward for sure. On almost any team in the NHL right now, it's just he's such a good player. My surprise, Mr. Hamblin making the team.
Did he actually make the team?
Everyone else is sent down.
Except for him, yeah. I didn't know.
I think he makes the as a 13th forward, man. I do. That or as a 4th liner. I think the 4th line right now looks like it's Derek Ryan centering Fogle and Hamblin. Which Hamblin is a very good 2-way forward. So that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Fogel's a good big player who can play physical and kills penalties. Derek Ryan is our only right shot center. So that'll be nice. Our top line is going to be ridiculous. If McDavid surrounded by Evander Kane and Jesse Puljujarvi. Which again, Edmonton fans are so quick to just try to get rid of... Actually, I think it's just Mark Spector, that idiot. Just trying to get rid of Jesse
And then just his
Puljujarvi.
followers, I guess.
He like 2, and they're his parents. Like, he's the biggest idiot in all of media. I despise that guy. Like, with every... Like, God, I hate his reporting. He's such a jerk, man. Such a jerk. There's a difference between being a jerk and being a good journalist, and he's not. He's just a jerk. He's just a jerk.
Yeah, never mind.
But Puljujarvi makes McDavid better. You look at all the analytics. You look at all the defensive numbers. Connor McDavid out-chances players by like a 7-3 margin when Puljujarvi's on his line. It's just like 6-5 when he's not. It's 7-3 when he is. Put that into perspective. If Andrew Kane's the big body, finishes the puck, or finishes the plays, gets the goals, McDavid creates all the chances, Puljujarvi retrieves all the pucks and plays sound defensively. You know what, I knew that Puljujarvi was going to be a legit player? I never thought he was going to put up 50 goals in the season. Never thought that. I thought he was going to be a serviceable 25 to 30 goals, 50 points. Not bad.
I think it's just the expectation because he was a 4th overall pick.
I get that. I do. But that's what's awful about Oilers fans. Yeah. They just see that.
Just see that.
Puljujarvi will be a top 6 forward on this team, hopefully for years to come. I think he's very valuable to this team. The fact that Connor McDavid fought to keep him here and it was the one he's like, hey, I want him here still. It's huge. But the moment I knew that Jesse Puljujarvi was going to be an integral part of this team, especially on the defensive side, I went to watch an Oilers Capitals game in his sophomore season. Ovechkin got a breakaway, well, a partial break, and it was just Jesse Puljujarvi that was coming back to backtrack and got him. He did the most spectacular defensive play I've saw the entire season. And out physicaling Ovechkin, lifting a stick and not letting him get a shot. But clear break, man. Clear. McDavid wouldn't have stopped him. None of them would have stopped him. But yes, he found a way. And he came up, brought the puck up, gave it to McDavid, and McDavid scored. Jesse Puljujarvi is an underrated defensive player in the league.
He's just like Nuge. Because Nuge was 1st overall. But we're always talking about how defensively sound his game is, basically. So he's basically like a Nuge. He's not gonna give you those 80 points or whatever, but he's gonna give you good defensive hockey that's gonna help us win games.
Which is, you know what's funny? Our 2 most valuable players in regards to team defense are probably Nuge and Jesse Puljujarvi. Not even Nurse. It's gonna be Nuge and Jesse Puljujarvi that are 2 most valuable players with regards to defense. That's nuts to me. It's nuts. But I predict Jesse was going to have a good year. Maybe 50 points. 45, I wouldn't be that upset. But playing first line, he'll get his opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
He won't be first power play. Dylan Holloway, if you haven't already, it's a good idea to probably put some money down him winning the Calder. I think the odds are like 500 to 1 when I checked on the website. It might have gone up to 50 to 1, though.
I should probably put just a little bit of money because that's a lot of you can get, yeah.
I was thinking of putting like $100 on it. It's $100, whatever.
I was gonna put like 50.
I'm okay with losing. That's $5,000 if I win.
That's true,
right? Maybe just $10 and 500. It'll still be a nice payday. But Dylan Holloway, I think, if he actually plays in the second line with Draisaitl and Hyman all year, that's gonna be good because he's gonna have a physical center. And a top 3 player in the world in Leon Draisaitl to learn from. And then the Energizer Bunny and Hyman.
The Energizer Bunny.
But who best to learn from, man?
Right? Like you said, one of the best players and one of the players that never gives up on a puck.
And then the third line of Nuge, Yamamoto, and McLeod? That's ridiculous.
This year is going to be fun.
I don't remember the last time the Oilers had to send down 3 legit NHL players to the minors. Because they didn't make the team. Mm-hmm. And even on defense, the battle was actually very impressive. For the 6th and 7th defenseman spot, I was shocked. I didn't think it'd be that competitive. Samarkov played very well.
Yep.
Nemo Lyon played very well.
Yep.
Ryan Murray played outstanding. Broberg had a bad preseason by his standards, but he's making the team still.
Probably because of cap reasons, but
him and Samorikov and Nemo Lyon all have similar cap hits, though.
Yeah.
If anything, actually, Broberg's cap hit is more because he was a higher pick, and then you have the bonus structure.
The bonus structure, yeah. No, but I think it is because of cap, and then I guess we'll see the next couple weeks or so, see what happens with Broberg. But no, yeah.
I'll be interested to see. A trade candidate for this year will be Fogle. You trade for a bigger grinder on the 4th line and then and see where it goes. But
so someone to tire out the other team.
This team is so good, man. I'm so angry that we only have 3 Battle of Albertas because that's 2 of the top teams in the NHL fighting against each other in the
And
same province.
Have they not seen the series that they had this year?
Yeah, the NHL cares nothing about Canada and
Or
hockey in Canada.
rivalries in general, because I think other teams that had rivalries only have like three games as well.
I'm telling you, the NHL does not like Canada.
We should apply for just to be the schedulers, like people that make the schedule,
imagine?
and just pay us like what, like $50,000, whatever, just minimum, and we'll be like, okay, we're gonna have 10 battles of Alberta, 10 New York versus New York, 10 Pittsburgh versus Washington. No, but seriously, like, it's next year we have to see better, like, more rivalry games, basically, like more fun. Like, fans will pay the big bucks to go see a Battle of Alberta, or maybe a Battle of Florida. Sure, why not? Or Pittsburgh versus Washington. Like, people will pay big money for that.
Now, do you think that Arizona sells out a single game this year?
As much as I don't want to see it just to make it funny, I can see it because it's, what, 5,000 seats?
The players are furious that they're playing there.
Well, I bet. Yeah.
Living. And I don't think it's just Arizona players. I think NHLPA needs to be furious that they're even considering playing in there.
But they want to keep Arizona in the league.
At what cost?
Right?
The escrow and the amount, every team in the NHL needs to pay for Arizona to stay in the league, pretty much. At what cost? Gary Bettman is the biggest idiot in hockey. It's not named Mark Spector.
Yeah.
That said, Bettman did a lot for the sport and grew it a lot. So there are some positives.
He did a lot
there.
for Edmonton too.
Yep. Did a lot to keep Edmonton here. Although I do think the Edmonton investor group, what is it called?
But, yeah.
EIC? EIG?
Sure.
EIG.
EIC. Croup.
They did a lot to keep him here too. But that said, man, Batman's
enough
way
is
past
enough.
His prime,
yeah,
man.
like
he's like in his 70s now. Like, let him collect his pension and just be done.
That, or just enough is enough. Just stop forcing yourself to keep Arizona, even though it's costing you money.
He has to have a mistress there or something that keeps him there. Like, seriously. Whatever.
It's okay.
Anyways, that's it for me.
I think that's good for today, yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 40 of the CANAS podcast. And I will be in town next weekend, so we will see you next week for sure. Enjoy the start to the season, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Start to our fantasy hockey season as well.
Yep. Do you want to just go quickly through our teams, I guess? Just so that if anyone is listening, like the two people or few people that are listening.
Should we go over the worst team in the league first?
No, we'll just go by our team.
So, I guess just for perspective, it was decided that shots on goal, hits, and penalty minutes would count. Goalies were very valuable in this league, with a win counting for 2 points, a game start counting for 1 point, goal against for -1, saves for 0.2, and shutout for 2. So, goalies were very valuable in this league.
And I screwed up. I waited way too long.
Whereas I did the opposite. I went so early on goalies, and my defense is pretty bad. That said, defense gets you no points, even the elite ones. So I don't think I'm that far off. But would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
So my team is Mikko Rantanen, Sam Reinhart, Alex Ovechkin, Brady Tkachuk, Patrick Laine, Andrew Mangiapane, John Carlson, Shea Theodore, Eric Carlson, Jeff Petrie, Dylan Larkin, Trevor Zegras, Mason McTavish. I do have Shane Wright on my team right now, but I am I made a waiver claim.
I'm in the process of
I'm in the process of getting rid of him. So it'll be Matty Beniers, Darcy Kemper, and had to get an Oiler to cheer for my fantasy team. So I got Stuart Skinner.
So I got Joe Pavelski, Rupe Hintz, Andrei Sveshnikov, Philip Forsberg, Mitch Marner, Kevin Fiala, Torrey Krug, Damon Severson, Vince Dunn, Ivan Provorov, Mark Scheifele, Clayton Keller, Igor Shesterkin, Thatcher Demko. That's
a crazy goalie.
Elvis Merzlingis.
Merzlinkins.
You're right. Thank you. My big, who I believe to be probably the biggest sleeper in the entire league, Kalen Addison, the power play quarterback of Minnesota. And the biggest steal of the draft by far in the 11th round
because no
of a
one
12-team draft, Yevgeny Malkin. Listen, man, he's rostered by 95% of Yahoo. Like, that's an unreal pickup.
Yeah, everyone was scared because he's injury prone, but when he's there, he's going to give you points.
Even if he only plays 40 points, it's better than literally everybody on Mitch's team.
Well,
I think on Mitch today.
Yeah. Next time we'll pick on someone else.
Next time we'll pick on somebody else. Sorry, Mitch. Okay, that's everything for us today. Let us know what you think of our teams. Who you think has the best team. Let us know in the comment section below. And if you want to know who Mitch's team is, let us know as well. We'll tell you next week. And yeah, thanks everybody for listening to our episode this week. We will see you next week for episode 41 of the CANAS podcast.
Michelle.
CANAS podcast.
No.
Sports.
No.
Canadian sports.